Welcome to Transformative Principal. I am Jethro Jones, your host, and I am excited to invite you to participate in the Transformative Leadership Summit happening August 1st through 14th. We are going to have a great list of amazing guests who will be presenting: Jerry Pascal, John Wenstrom, Bill Ziegler, Chris Weger, Justin Bader, Will Parker, and a host of other amazing principals and leaders to help you be the best principal you can be. Go to transformativeleadershipsummit.com to sign up. Welcome to the Transformative Leadership Summit. Today, I am going to share with you the live Q&A from the Transformative Leadership Summit session that we did this week. And if you are not part of the Transformative Leadership Summit, then please go check it out at transformativeleadershipsummit.com. I also put a link in the show notes for you to check it out. I've got to tell you, this has been amazing. And I just finished an interview with Ray McNulty. And this week I added Rose Isaiah and Damon Hargraves to the list. So we've got over 40 people who are part of this summit, and you're going to learn so much, and it's going to change the way you do things in such a positive way that I just know it is because it's changed how I do things. So if you haven't done it yet, please do go to transformativeleadershipsummit.com and sign up for the summit. Also, please share that with everybody you know, every other educator, because I really want to make an impact on education this year and show how powerful an online asynchronous professional development opportunity can be. So please share it. There's 40 amazing educators for you to learn from. And thank you so much for listening to Transformative Principal. Okay, here we are. We are in the webinar, and let's hope that this time it works a little bit better. Right.
We got it now.
Yeah, we got it.
Peggy signed up over on the other side, so hopefully we'll be able to get people over here. Did you email the other folks like Pat and Maha and Jennifer and Jeremy? Or
I didn't grab all their names, so I'm going to try to go back in there and figure out how to invite them to this one.
I shared the link, so if they're on there, they can see it.
Okay, and if they just refresh the page also, they'll be able to get in there, and I put the new code in the new one, so hopefully that'll work.
Otherwise, we're going to have an awesome webinar, just you and me, buddy.
No matter what. Oh, that's funny. I kind of messed up on that, but oh well.
That's okay. Stuff
we all
happens.
make mistakes, right?
That's right.
All right, Jeremy made it in. Thanks,
yes.
Jeremy.
Way to persevere, buddy.
That's right.
Hey, Jeremy, type where you're from. What's your role and what school do you serve? Pat's here too.
Yay! Good job.
Peggy, they're all coming over.
Phew.
Jeremy, Peggy, Pat, I would love to know where you're located and what school you serve, or what your role is, how you're connected to education.
And I'm going to time to see how long it takes the chat to start refreshing.
Oh.
Also, it takes a little while for us to see what people are saying. So if you got a question, you can go ahead and put it in the question box, which is down here on this side over here. And you can just start putting your questions in there, and then we can start answering them in there. So I think I got a couple questions on Voxer. I'm going to see if I can throw in there.
Sounds good. But again, everybody, thanks for persevering. Wow, Jeremy's all the way from Barcelona, elementary principal, 11 p.m. So it's your bedtime, Jeremy. And Chicago, just left Chicago 4 weeks ago. Born and raised. Very cool. Very cool. Jeremy, what'd you do while you were in Chicago a few weeks ago? Visit family or something like that? Pat's near Buffalo. New York Teacher Center Director. Very cool. All right. Pat, do you know a guy named Francis McGreevy by any chance? He's up in Buffalo, New York as a principal. He worked in Berwyn. Okay. Just left there to move here. Barcelona treating you better than Berwyn, I'm guessing.
You see the picture he tweeted on where he watches the Leadership Summit at?
Oh, I remember that now. Yeah, because I said I was jealous. Yeah. Okay, I'm making the connection now. Dang. Good for you, man. That's awesome, Jeremy. And Peggy, I remember you from our Blabs. I haven't been on there in a while, but we always had a good time connecting. I'm guessing they're still doing those too. Nice.
Hey, Peggy, where are you a university pre-service instructor at? Daniel and I were just talking about how to start getting some college credit for this. And so we need a connection with the university. I've got one here in Alaska that I'm working with, but, like to have some backup. So you probably know someone at Arizona State still, I imagine, right?
Peggy,
Begster,
help us out. No, I think that's next level for us. We would really appreciate being able to offer all the fantastic school leaders that participate in this online summit continuing education credits. So I think, if you dig in, right, if you take these leadership lessons, we've gotten tremendous responses from just this is day 4. It's going by so fast, but by digging into those tips and then actually implementing them right within their school communities, leaders are going to grow personally, staff, they're going to be taken care of, and the kids, they're going to be achieving at a higher level. And so we think that definitely is worthy of continuing education credits. So Peggy, we need your help. Jeremy, Aurora University, yes, just west, right by Naperville where my aunt used to live. Cool. Hook us up.
Yeah, so if you know anybody or have connections, let us know, and we'll definitely reach out and try to make it happen so that people can get some extra benefit from this. Because, like Daniel was saying, it's going to impact all of our kids a lot. So just a reminder right down there, there's a questions tab, and if you click that, you can put some questions in, and hopefully that'll work out well. I put a couple questions in there to get us started. These are on Voxer in one of the groups I'm in. They're asking, how does your school community define success for your school? How do you measure it? How does your school define a positive school culture? And how do you measure it? And culture is something that we're really going to get into the last few days of the summit.
Boom.
And what we're saving the best for last, not that it's not the most important, because it is the most important. It's what we want you to leave with. So we've got some great conversations that are going to be happening. I just wrapped up the interview with Sean Gaylord, who's the creator of the
Celebrate Monday.
Woo woo. So that'll be a good one. So Daniel, what are some of your thoughts on measuring and defining a positive school culture?
Yeah, I was just talking about that in my interview today, so I'll use a similar answer. But a positive school culture, I think too often, and it's so easy, right? It's human nature to focus on the negative and discipline problems or the complexities of our job and that sort of thing. So in terms of a positive school culture, I think you need to build into the community, obviously something like maybe a PBIS focus. And so I want to have a culture that rewards staff members and students for their positive contributions. And let me share 2 examples of how we did that. For the staff members, we did something called the Dr. Howard Award. And Dr. Betty Howard was an amazing special ed teacher at our school, and she was murdered with senseless gun violence. She actually worked a second job. Too many teachers have to do that in Chicago and around our nation, probably around the world. And she was a realtor on the side. And so as she was working one day, just gang violence and a stray bullet went through the building wall and struck her and killed her instantly. She was an amazing woman, and we wanted to continue honoring her life. So we decided to start the Dr. Howard Award. And our values at Brooks, the school I used to be employed at, we valued 3 things. Hopefully I could remember them. Energy, right? High energy. Collaboration, because you got to do it as a team. None of this isolation stuff. And then going the extra mile. And Dr. Howard was all about going the extra mile. So what we would do is we would have students, staff members, and parents each month nominate a staff member that embodied that, going the extra mile. And there was a few questions, just, how do they exemplify this trait, et cetera, et cetera. There was a place for them to, the nominee to share who they were, right? And then as a culture and climate team, we would pull all that stuff. It was a Google survey, went to a spreadsheet. We'd read through them and then award somebody, the award. The neat thing is that person, sure, they got their name on a plaque. So they were, recognized that way, name, picture on the TVs around the school, yes, on the website. That's all great. But the part that I really appreciate is that every single nominee, they received a form And I actually paid my mom to do this. I love this part of the story. Taking all that data, right, all the nominees, what was said about them, and I would pay her $20 an hour. And I said, Mom, turn it into this document. I'm going to print them off at school and then throw it in everyone's mailbox. And so a couple things there. One, pay your mom, take care of your moms, but also delegate stuff, right? Like as a leader in the school, that's not a good use of my time. Yes, of course, I had the skill set to pull that out, right? My mom's retired, and maybe there was somebody else I could have found for that. But get stuff off your plate, low-level stuff like that. But then the other thing is, how do you celebrate, honor people? Getting back to the question, which is positive school culture. And that was one of the best days, during a month at Brooks every single month. And you would see people, they would read it. Sometimes they would cry. And it was just such a touching moment where you can see that Peggy said this about me. Jethro said this about me, right? And these things were all in the classrooms, in people's offices, above their desks. It was just a great way to honor people. So that's staff. And then in terms of students in PBIS, we developed Brooks Points. And this was just a way to catch students making positive contributions in the classroom, in the hallway, around the campus, in the community. And we would circle, we had a few traits that were learner profiles, right? So the educator would circle what trait it was connected to, put the kid's name, put the date, put a brief description of what happened, and then they would put how many points they earned, which was just totally ridiculous. It meant nothing. It meant absolutely nothing. But, kids would love this. High school kids, too. They would say, is that worth 500 points? Is that worth 1,000? No, this one's worth 10,000 points. And they would freak out. It didn't mean anything. The points didn't mean anything. But they would take those cards, they would drop it into a raffle box, and then once a week we would pull from each grade level. We would read the anecdote that was shared about the kid, and the kid could win anything from a Subway gift card, Walmart gift card. It's high school, so they got free tickets to prom, et cetera, et cetera. And we also tracked, too. We had a counselor. She stepped in, and God, I love her for that. And she tabulated all the kids every single week of who was earning these Brooks Points. And at the end of the year, too, the kid that was referred the most, or maybe the top three, they earned some pretty big gifts like PS4, Xbox One, Chromebooks, TVs, refrigerator, that kind of stuff. So Jethro, what do you think about school culture?
Well, I think you got a lot going on there. That certainly is powerful. The thing, I would add, or that I would ask you is, what is this school climate and community team that you were talking about?
Oh,
or what was that called?
You know what's neat? I was talking to my former principal, and hopefully I'll get to work with him again. He's a community superintendent there in Spring Branch Independent School District in Houston. And the reason I'm sharing that is because we do these things, right? The culture and climate team, or everything we did at Brooks, it became just like breathing. And so I don't think about it. And then there's that phrase, I think it comes from Derek Sivers, but the idea is that what's ordinary to you, right, is extraordinary to me. So, yeah, I take all that stuff for granted. We have something really cool in Chicago. It depends on the school, right, if they think it's cool or not. But the University of Chicago, they do something called the 5 Essentials Data Survey. Staff fills it out. Students fill it out. Parents fill it out. No administrators. And it really targets all sorts of issues of organizational health, right, from voice, autonomy, to safety, everything there. And we had scored low in terms of teachers and kids feeling appreciated within the building. There was a lot of change when we first came in, and our tenure was 5 years. And so, we really poured over that data. And unlike a lot of schools that would get a report like that, we actually did something with it. And we put in system structures, processes to respond to the data. So this was a response to getting lower marks, right, with school culture. And so Mr. Weaver, Principal Weaver, charged me with making an impact there. I think this is one of my strengths as a leader. Like, I love this type of stuff. I'm not so much the operational, like how does our school function? I'm a people person, like making sure they feel valued, honored, all that sort of stuff. So anyways, started the team. And it was important to me to get a representative from every department, including the counseling department, and opened it up. People were able to apply. And then if, honestly, some departments didn't apply. So I approached them one-on-one and encouraged them to participate. And so we just formed that team. We met every other week. It was in the morning before school started. And we would discuss different things. So Dr. Howard Award was one. Brooks Points, how do we honor kids? That was another. We brought restorative practices to the school as well. And, had them be an integral part in terms of how we handle discipline within the school. And so these were just some of the things that we discussed on a biweekly basis.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And what I like about that is that you're actually just going in and doing the work that needs to be done. And, that's a powerful thing to be able to do. But you're getting other people involved and making it a team effort and making people excited about that opportunity. So I just think that that's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
Not every school has a team like that. And so there's real power in being able to create that. Our school has what's called a sunshine committee.
Oh, sunshine, like Danny's sunshine. All right.
There you go. You like that?
I love it.
So that's something that we do as a team to recognize people. And that's, they give flowers when there's funerals or new babies or things like that. And so it's a pretty awesome thing to have there, but it's not quite as developed as what yours is. And we're certainly not recognizing everybody. Now, the real question I got to ask though is, when you're recognizing people, does it turn into this, like, everybody has to get recognized, or how does that work?
No, I mean, because it's completely community driven and organic. So, the only people that got stuff in their mailbox were people that were nominated. And so I was interested in how people would react to that, the first few months, because there's folks that did not get nomination forms. But the interesting thing is, they asked, what is this? How do I get nominated, and that sort of thing. And it kind of was a mindset shift. It got some people to focus on, what is the value I bring to this community? Because here's what I hate, right? Something that really, really, really bothers me is when folks, they even say this, or sometimes they don't. They're there just to teach sixth grade English from 8 o'clock until 3:30. You're never going to be a truly great educator if that's your mindset. And so, one of the things I saw when people started seeing the nomination forms go out, they were inquiring, how do I get one? It got them to think about what is the value I do add to the community? What are the relationships I build here? It's very introspective. And for some people, it's kind of hard. But I saw a lot of folks that weren't getting nominated regularly start to get nominated. So, I think that was a good thing. I used to collect data on it. I don't have it memorized, but I think 80% of the staff did get nominated, at some point in time. So that's cool. A lot of educators at Brooks and staff, support staff, some of our security guards were some of the highest nominated people, just because they developed incredible relationships with their kids, and the kids felt like they truly loved them, that they would keep them safe and protect them. If they're going through a really hard time, they would listen and offer good advice. And if you think about too, state of families, like whole families, right, in our nation, is something to really consider, especially with the lack of fathers too. And so it was a neat thing for guys to really be able to step in that way and be father figures and talk to guys and girls about, as if they were sons and daughters.
Yeah,
but we did not nominate everybody, so you got to earn that stuff.
That's right. And if it's too routine that you just get it because, then that's not really going to do that much to help you. It's going to be, that teacher over there that we know is not doing what we're all trying to do.
Right.
They're still getting it. And we certainly don't want that to happen.
Yeah. And see, I see what Peggy says. I don't think it became routine for the people that were earning it quite a bit, because they love that stuff. I mean, if you think about it too, with education, we're not going to be able to give them a lot of time off. We're not going to be able to give a lot of monetary rewards. So recognition for hard work and the value you add to a community is like a key lever that you got to just keep pulling, I think. And our folks, they definitely responded to that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to ask and answer Ashley's question, and I'm going to do this on Facebook Live as well.
Oh, yeah. Love it.
Yeah,
I do like it.
So, yeah, Peggy, your idea of random acts of kindness, I think that is a pretty powerful thing also, and I've seen some real cool things happen because of that. So, all right. So the next question is from Ashley, and she asked this in the Facebook group, and she asked, when do or should you read a book for professional learning from front to back, and when should you pick out chapters or sections that you think are relevant to facilitating dialogue with your PLC? And if you do the latter, could the key points be misinterpreted because of lack of context, not taken into consideration with other parts of the book as a whole? And then the next part of the question.
The next part, that's a lot of stuff to the first part. Can you drop that in there? Because I'm not.
The next part.
I'm like I'm losing focus. Can you drop the question in there?
Yep. Let me.
And everybody, I dropped a link to a blog post that was crowdsourced. 12 great educators outside of myself added how they appreciate. They added how they appreciate their staff members. So you might find value from that. Okay. Whoa. Yeah.
So big question, right? So go down like halfway down to where it says number 2, how exactly do you go slow to go fast? So in Kimberly's question, or in Kimberly's interview, she was talking about reading and how she goes slow so that she can go fast. And basically that idea of going slow to go fast is so that you can take what you're doing, you can take the concepts that you're learning from this book, and you go slow until people are ready. And then once people are ready, then you can go really fast and make things happen. So it starts out being like we're taking our time, we're going through this slowly, but then as you get better at it and as people start to understand more, then you switch over to going fast, and then you're just cruising. So let me give a good example of this. Well, actually, I'll give an example from my current school because I think this is a little bit better. We started a building leadership team at my school halfway through my first year. And the things that we were doing, the questions that we were asking, we were taking our time, we were going slow. There wasn't a lot of real movement happening. So then we were able to go to a conference with a bunch of us together. And because we had taken those 4 months to just like get to know each other and take time and learn from each other, when we got to the conference, we were able to sit down and in 2 hours crank out a plan for the next school year that we actually fulfilled and actually did. So we went slow in the beginning and didn't make a ton of changes and just debated and philosophized and all that stuff. And then when the time came for us to actually take action, that's when we actually took action. And so I think that is how you go slow to go fast. So in the context of reading this book, to answer Ashley's question specifically, is do you take out a little bit here and there, or do you go really deep? What does that look like? I would say that you find what your people are comfortable with and then take them to the next level so that they're ready to go fast at that time. So hopefully that answers Ashley's questions, but I think that's a good introduction to that. The idea of going slow to go fast is important. So Kimberly Mahini, I hope I said your name right. Sorry about that. She asks how to speak to a colleague about their insistence on undermining everything I do while complaining to everyone. She's a great teacher, but what do we do? So, I think that is a really good question. And in Jennifer Abrams' interview today, she's going to talk a lot about how to do that. One of my favorite terms from her talk is to avoid the saliva reaction, which is the reaction that you get when you talk to people sometimes. And I think that Kimberly, definitely go and watch her interview. You're going to get a lot from it. And one of the things that I think we need to be really aware of is making sure that we're not bringing our own ideas of what's actually happening to the table. Ma Winnie. Thank you, Kimberly Ma Winnie. All right. Thanks for fixing that. So, what you want to do when you have those conversations is, instead of saying you are undermining everything, you want to make sure that you're clear about what's your interpretation and what is is their issue. So, I talk a lot about storylines and how storylines start playing in our head, and we get these ideas of what's going on, and we tell ourselves a story, and the narrative that we are telling further tells the point of the story. And that is not always the case that is what is happening. And so what you need to do is you need to find a way to have that conversation so you can get clear about what's actually happening from their perspective. So instead of thinking that just because you feel like they are part of some group that's undermining you, you need to actually talk to them. And the way I do that is I have a literal card that's a storyline card. And if you do the all access pass, then you can get those communication cards that I do. I give somebody a storyline card and I say, here's my storyline. That card is a signal to that person to take what I'm about to say, recognize that I am being vulnerable. I'm asking them to be vulnerable, and we need to find a way to open up some lines of communication here. So it's a really powerful exercise that works all the time. 99% of the time, people do not have their storylines correct. And so when that happens, what you can then do is you can start talking to them about how they can adjust their storyline or what the truth is. And once you know what the truth is, so Kim, this teacher may be not really excited about something, but what you need to figure out is why she's feeling that way, and then what you can do to help her feel better about the situation. Now, that's not always easy, and sometimes that is very difficult, and sometimes people don't want to engage in those conversations, and sometimes your relationship is so negative that you've already burned that bridge, and you're not going to be able to recover from that anytime soon. It's going to take a long time. And, Peggy, you're totally right. The issue is about the relationship, and you've got to fix that, and you've got to be able to get it better so you can focus on that growth. Now, that's not easy to do. What I want to share with you now is how I did that with my staff so they understood what it was that those storyline cards meant. So I took a meeting and I went through and talked about all of the different cards. I have a crisis in my personal life. It's all about the money. That means that we need to talk about money, but it's awkward to talk about money. So let's find a way to get past that awkwardness of talking about money. So I showed all the communication cards that I had, and then I told them that this is how we were going to deal with whatever issues came up. And by having those different cards, those communication cards, you can stop a bad conversation from happening right away because of your preparation for that. So that just lets everybody know what we're going to talk about. And then when we know what we're going to talk about, then we can react appropriately. And so in a staff meeting, I told everybody what it was. I was out there and I said, I promise if you come and talk to me and you have the storyline, I will be honest with you about what I'm feeling, and I will expect honesty in return. And so one of my teachers said that when she gives me the storyline card, she sees a physical change come over me so that she knows that I am reacting appropriately. So those communication cards are so powerful and so awesome. And I would say, Kim, what you need to do is go to that teacher with a storyline card and say, this is what the storyline card is. Here's my storyline. Am I right or am I wrong? If I'm right that you're undermining me, that's totally not appropriate. If I'm wrong, then I'll be corrected, and go ahead and tell me that I'm the one in the wrong. And you can deal with that as a leader. You can take that feedback. But the real key is, if you're going to give the storyline card, you need to listen. You need to listen to what that person says, and you need to let them talk to you however they want. And it's not about getting them in trouble if they say things that are inappropriate. It's about getting that out in the open so that you can actually find the problem and actually solve it.
I totally agree.
It's about. Thank you. I thought you did. All right. Good news.
Yeah, I do. But I have another interview Monday too. So, but it looks like I'll be
awesome
bringing my talents down to Texas.
Woo woo!
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So
that's cool. How cool that we get to be part of this awesome experience.
Yeah, right. I know. I don't know. still kind of pinching myself, right? I haven't even processed it in my mind. So as you guys could see when I left, like, I am packed up. I've been packed up for about a week and a half. And so, just trying to pray and have peace and believe that this was all going to work out. And I had a couple paths I was pursuing, and it looks like my number one path is gonna hit. So just pretty wild, and very, very fortunate, very thankful for all that. So, hey, did we talk? How long is this one going on for? Sorry to interrupt.
That's all right. This one's supposed to go for 30 minutes. So unless we got more questions here in the chat, which we don't.
I've got one. That's why I was going to ask.
What's your question?
Have you talked about the All Access Pass and all the goodies you get?
I talked about one goodie, which is my.
Oh, I heard you talking about that. Cards. Okay. Well, I'll add mine then too. The leadership sprint. I don't have the date memorized. Viewers, Peggy, 28th. Peggy, Jeremy, Pat. Thank you, Jethro. What would I do without you, my brother?
And Melissa, Lynn, and
Kimberly for real?
On Facebook Live. I hope you get Daniel talking. I'm doing a double thing.
Nice.
Where I got the.
What's up, guys? Facebook, love it. Very cool. Thank you, Jethro, for doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you could hear me on Facebook too, but the idea of the leadership sprint was pretty. I mean, this is a lot of fun. I ran it once. When was that one? You participated, Jethro. Was that April? That was in May.
That was in May.
Yeah,
May 21st.
I borrowed and massaged the idea, right? Because Jethro and I also did a very similar experience, and I'm going to be transparent, with Seth Godin, and he designed a really great online workshop to push leaders to think in different ways, in creative ways about leadership. And I enjoyed the experience so much. I know that I have an audience, right, of school leaders that subscribe to my email newsletter. They download the podcast. And so I said, I want to do something similar, steal the format, not the content, and give it to school leaders. And so that's what I did. So basically, here's how it goes, and I would love you to participate. If you get the Invest in All Access Pass, then you will be free admission for this. And so there's going to be, I think it's 10 to 11, maybe 12 videos that are all about leadership. And it's looking at leadership from a variety of perspectives. Each video is 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. And I try to teach by telling stories. That's my style. And I think that's the way people like, to listen to, right? So.
And you're
what?
So good at it.
I was looking at my hair though in some of those videos. I'm like, man, I need to re-record. I needed a haircut, I need a haircut now too, but I really needed a haircut, but I'm just going to be true to myself. I am who I am, right? So anyways, tell stories and talk about leadership, and you watch those videos, and then the beauty of it is we are in Slack. It's similar to this webinar in terms that we can chat together, but Slack is an online tool. It's free to use, so I push schools to try to use this, and I'm going to go on a tangent here. We used it within Brooks to serve our neediest students, the ones that were failing multiple classes. And in Slack, it's really neat. You can make these different, what we call channels. So I made a channel for every single student that was failing multiple classes. And we piloted this, so it was small. We were talking about 8 kids. But then the teachers were assigned to each of those channels. And then instead of going back and forth over email, trying to remember, did I reply all, did I attach stuff, et cetera, you can ping people that you want to specifically talk to. You could drop files in. It integrates with Dropbox, Google Drive, Evernote, all this great stuff. And so it was a fantastic way to communicate with a lot less barriers. In terms of the leadership sprint, this is just a place to collaborate with other driven, smart leaders such as yourselves watching this webinar. So you watch the video. There's a prompt in some type of response that you need to make. And it's either an individual writing assignment that you then share with the group and respond to each other, or it's a group writing assignment that you do together. And that's what you do. And it takes about 2.5 hours. It sounds like a long time, but it happens like that really, really fast. And by the end, you've made some really cool friends and had a great leadership experience. That's for you for free. All Access Pass investors. Boom. Gonna love it. You're gonna love it. I can't hear you.
Sorry. In addition to that, I got my little mute button so they don't hear me double talking on Facebook Live. In addition to that, you've got the
all the videos
that you can access whenever you want. So you don't have to wait for them to come out or worry about the expiration. You can go to them when you want. You get MP3s of everything that is
take it on the go,
videos, but in MP3 format. That's right. And so, one person on Voxer today said that she's loving the All Access Pass because she gets to listen to it at her own pace, and she's a little bit behind, and so she can still have those conversations. And because she's on Voxer, she has the All Access Pass Voxer group that I invited all the presenters to. So she thanked Jeff Zoll for
such a cool guy.
Yeah, awesome dude. And then he replied and said, "You're welcome and have a great day." So, I mean, how cool is that you get that direct feedback from people? Also, there's a private Facebook group. So right down here at the bottom of the screen, if you're on the, where is the finger? There it is. If you're on the webinar, then there's a link to the All Access Pass. It's also in the emails. So if you want to do that, then yes, please join in. And so the Voxer group has been pretty cool. We've been able to have some conversations with. Oh, I just turned on the All Access Pass in the bottom.
I didn't want to say anything.
About that. So it's been cool to have that Voxer group and the Facebook group for all the presenters and the All Access Pass holders. So you can get in there and start interacting with those people right away. So, I just am excited to be doing this. I'm learning a ton. I know you are too. And I'm just glad that you're there. And thanks for showing up and being part of this. And any other parting words, Dan?
No, just honored that you participated in the webinar. I hope you've been enjoying the videos and have been getting a lot of value from it. And so, yeah, I mean, that's why we have the All Access Pass. Those videos go away after 48 hours, but your learning doesn't have to stop. So by now, I think you see the value, right, of investing in it. You can listen to it on the go as MP3s, and that's cool. I mean, that's enough in its own, to be honest, right? But because of the bonuses, like the cards, the sprint, there's other bonuses that come along with it. I mean, that just kind of pushes it over the tip, for me, over the edge. I think that's a no-brainer. So it's been awesome interacting with everyone, answering a few questions. Sorry I had to run for a minute, but just appreciate everybody here. Day 5 starting tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Thank you all for coming. It's been a pleasure, and we'll see you on the other side next time we see you.
Bye-bye.
So that was a really great webinar that we did, and just want to, again, invite you to join the Transformative Leadership Summit and connect with the other amazing, great educators out there. I hope that you'll take what you're learning and improve your school and make your school just amazing, even more amazing than it is. And I'm sure if you're listening to this, your school is already amazing. I want you to take it to the next level. So join the Transformative Leadership Summit at transformativeleadershipsummit.com. Links in the show notes, and you can help transform your school. Transformative Principal is a proud member of the Education Podcast Network. Podcasts for educators by educators. Visit edupodcastnetwork.com for more great podcasts.